I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Again.
Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed. Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so.
It is, yeah.
Edgeworth sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You can at least study some evidence law, really.
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. So, that's not how evidence law works at all. But for the sake of the game, that's how evidence law works.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The police can't obtain evidence without first,
Well, you have to establish a chain of evidence, which means a police officer has to recover the shoe, take it to the forensics department and sign for it. This forensic department does the test, gives it back to the police, signs for it. The police gives it to the prosecutor, signs for it. They have to show a clearly documentation from taking it from the crime scene all the way to the court.
They can't even take it from the crime scene without documenting it. Who is taking it? Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Can we just press on stuff? We don't... Yeah.
So you brought it to the forensics department? If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective.
This shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed, after all. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman? As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. You can't say that for sure the blood belonged to the defendant without a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Huh. Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood.
That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means we can more or less narrow down any sample of blood to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific.
I don't actually know my blood type.
Really? Huh. And be positive.
I had...
Which is interesting. Go ahead. Sorry.
I had 7 vials of blood taken for test because they wanted to test for everything like a couple weeks ago.
But they forgot to test for your blood type?
Well, blood type doesn't matter, but I've never had it for... Because it's a specific test that doesn't...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my mother is A negative and my dad is B positive, and all three of my siblings are A negative and I'm B positive. So it's very interesting to me.
It's just genetics.
Yep, but it also means I can't get blood from any of my siblings. I have to get it from my dad. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skye.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe.
Now ties her directly to the death of... Excuse me, my coffee just ran out.
You're making me yawn across
Sorry.
Across the globe.
Sorry. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that.
And there may be watchers of CharacterSelect across the other side of the globe yawning from our yawns.
Can we look at the... We can. Oh, hello. There's blood here, too. On the sole of the shoe, it's got to be the victim's. Must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood.
Interesting. And it's on the that
one. Okay, that's not helpful yet.
No.
Can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Rat. Some, like your client, she's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe?
Yeah.
Is there?
How did he step in a pool? How is there blood of Lana Skye on it as well?
Oh, you know what? And there was none on the floor of the parking garage. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence, a clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence.
It's the blood on the bottom, right?
How was Lana Skye's... Yeah.
I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
Indeed. There is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife.
In the chest, not the shoe.
What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? Oh, shit, is it in the picture? Oh my god, it totally is! There's no blood on the floor!
There we go. That was quick.
The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't there any bloody footprints found at the scene of the crime?
Aha!
As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort.
Order. Well, witness.
What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of the footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask, why wasn't there a footprint? Oh.
That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright, think! Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony.
What are you talking about?
Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. Chief Prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Not making that sound again.
Rawr.
I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that? I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason?
You don't mean...
Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Warg!
That ties up things quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase all the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe?
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please! What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime, and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor.
Very well.
But Angel Star is on the prosecution side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
What now? Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second helping.
This is actually the third helping.
Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called Evidence.
Wait, witness. Don't tell me you have something else.
The time for deliberations has passed. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this.
A photograph?
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo! Hey, it's clearly wet.
Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt, take another good look. Don't give up, not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence.
Very well. This time, I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Fucking course. Your Honor, wait.
What is it with you? Sorry. What is it with you people? Can't I hand my verdicts? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this.
I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake of the sauce bottle. Very well, Mr. Wright.
Show the court the problem in this photograph.
We have some sort of paper in the tailpipe. Let's ignore that. That's a muffler.
The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler.
Wait a moment. Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor?
You just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf in any kind in this photograph.
A muffler is also a part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe.
I see, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case.
What evidence do we have that proves that it's connected?
Is it the first photo?
The word muffler was overheard. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah yes, when I arrested her she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler! Ah, yerg! Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Stab, stab, stab. I love the sound effects in this game.
Well, it seems we'll have to suspend the proceeding. It reminds me of Food Wars, where they eat the food and they,
freak out?
Yeah, let's go with freak out. That's
fair.
That word. Over the food, and their clothes fly off. I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered, here, we do a disservice to the law. That's a weird sentence.
If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. There should be a comma right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all of the evidence.
Now, you might think this is kind of weird for him to say, but at the same time, the person on trial is the chief fucking prosecutor. You don't want to have any mistakes.
Unless you're corrupt and want to get over and done with really quickly.
Exactly.
Agreed.
I suppose so. That was close. But we made it. At least for now.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all, and I've got 7...
He's still hungry?
Oh, wow. So
my
he
God.
actually ate all of those in court, and he's still going to go get food. That's amazing.
Alright, next time on Character Select, The Day 1 Court Proceedings Part 2. Jim, please cut that episode into more reasonable length, because that was 50 fucking minutes. Thank you.
That was just one
thing. And now we're taking a break and coming back to the court.
It's a recess.
So thank you very much for watching. Make sure to click that like button down below if you liked it. And space. We're going to make the cough up queen cough up the truth at some point, I swear to God.
Not before I just cough up like 16 lunch boxes. Or bento boxes.
I mean, there's also that, yes.